So now we will learn how to debug our CAP project. So to do that, we need to first create a debug configuration. So for that, I go to Business Application Studio and I click on this run and debug option. And here we will choose create a launch JSON file. You can see a file gets created. If it asks you the type, choose Node.js. Then inside this, we press Control space and we generate something called run npm start in debug terminal. So this code gets generated. Basically, we are going to start our application in debugging mode. So, but to run the command is of course not npm start. We should use cds watch dash dash profile hybrid. This is the command we will use to debug. Let's give some name. I can say Anubhav trainings debug session. And then we will come here to also add something called working directory. Yes. So basically we need to add here something called a working directory, which is called CWD, current working directory. Why we need to add this? The reason is very simple, guys, that when you are debugging the Visual Studio Code or BAS tool, first has to switch to your directory where it should run the CDS watch command. So if you notice, whenever we came here, we come first to the workspace folder. Workspace folder is here. You see, it is projects folder. Yeah. So by default, first it'll be running the CDS watch command in the project folder. So if I just try to do manually this, you see, I'm in the project folder. If I try to do CDS watch here, so you see what happens. It gives an error. Yeah, it will give an error. It says no models were found. Yeah, because of course our project, our CAPM project is this my first cap. It is not the projects folder. So we need to first navigate to my first cap app, and then here we need to run the cds watch command. So same thing we need to do to debug also. So when you come here, it is giving you the folder path as workspace folder, and in on top you need to basically attach now here double slash, one is escaping character, one is slash my first cap, and save. So this time basically when you debug with this configuration, it will first switch the directory from project directory to my first cap app. Then from there, it will run the CDS watch command in the debug mode. And of course, you need to have the debugging points. So maybe I will go back to our one of the JavaScript file which we created in the SRV myservice.js, and maybe here for this particular read employee service, I'll put up a debugging point, line number 28. Yeah, so that is what I have done for read employee service. Now we can just go back again, and you can see here Anubhav training debug session configuration, and you can just start. So you can observe the console here, what it does. It will first switch the directory from the project directory to the my first cap, and then it will basically run the command. So you see it is running the command. So you can always come and check here what it is doing. So it is now connecting to my HANA container, which is named as Mickey. And after connecting to that, it is going to start my app. So that is what it has done in the debug mode. So if I can now go back to my HTTP file, which we created for testing, and we can just call these read employee data, so it should hit my debugger. So let me come down and search for my read employee service. Yes, here it is. And I click on send, and voila, you can see it has hit the debugging. So you can see here the debug shortcuts. There is a player opened, which shows that you can go to continue, or you can just go step into, you can go step out, or you can go step over. So let's do step over, which is Alt F10, and you see it is stepping over. Yes, you see line by line I can debug my cap project JS files now. So you can see the where condition which has come. Yes, you can hover the mouse and check all the condition. Does it have an ID? Of course not. It will go to the else part. So you see it has come to the else part. Here we are reading employees object. This is our employees object. Yes, you can see the request object. You can explore the request object, right click, and we can also just say go to definition, show me the definition, or evaluate in debug console, or add to watch point. All the debugging related options are there. So we can evaluate here in the debug console the REQ. It contains this object. Yes. And you can see request which has come. It has got all the parameters, events, base URL. All the information is readily available for you to explore during the debugging. Yes, so that you can actually manipulate this data, or you can leverage this data to extract the desired information you need. Yes, finally, it prepares the result. So let me just do a step over. So it has prepared the results, and we can also just go back and check the results directly at the bottom. So it has got one record. Yes. And this record is this data. So what I can also do, I can, if I want to change, I can change the data at runtime, and then it should be able to update my data. So we can say results of 0 dot, I want to change the account number, and I'll put 999999 at runtime, enter. This code got executed. So this time when I just go ahead and execute, and come back to my response, you can see the account number which has come in response is 999999, which I have changed during the debugging mode. So that is how we can actually debug our CAP applications end to end in the system. So everyone on your system, let me give you this launch configuration directly. You can add here under the configuration. I'll give you this source code. Uh-uh. Mhm. And then you can just go ahead and put up a breakpoint on one of the line in, for example, read employee service class.js here. And then you can just go ahead and click on this run configuration Anubhav trainings. It will start the code in debug mode, and then you can just trigger one of the request over here, and then you can debug.